Hi, welcome everyone. Delilah here from Thrive Literacy Corner, and I am just going to share with you a behind the scenes look at the reading intervention bundles. This is like an open house. I'm going to log in and show you what the dashboard looks like, everything you get access to, and answer any questions that you have about the bundle. So let me know in the chat that you can hear me so that I know I can keep going. I don't want to get too deep into this and realize that nobody can hear me. And if you're watching the replay, welcome. If you have any questions or anything, whether you're here live or watching the replay, just drop it in the chat. I can see the chat here and I will answer your questions. I'm going to share my screen, which I've never done on YouTube. So hopefully this goes well. Start here. Okay. I think I'm sharing my screen, but let me know if that's not the case. Actually, I cannot see the comments or anything. Let me see if I can pop out the dashboard. Okay. I'm not sure if I'll be able to see the comments at all, but this is what you will see when you log in to the bundle. So you have access to this platform, like the dashboard, pretty much forever, for as long as this platform will exist. The main things I want to show you is you will get access to a lesson on running small groups. So it explains how to assess, group your students, run your small groups, how to plan for them. There's a bunch of extra resources included. And I have a workshop included here on kind of your whole literacy block as a whole and the science of reading. So this is really good if you are totally lost or brand new to running small groups, then this is going to help you set up like the foundation, some kind of a structure for you to effectively run small groups. So you will have access to this forever. Then you will get access to all of these goodies right here, the 22 resources. And these you do have to download them by February 28th, which are specified right here. And then you keep them forever, right? So you download it, it's on your device, it's yours forever. After February 28th, these links will not work. So you do have to come in here and download the individual items that you want. Now, there's 22 things in here. That doesn't mean that you need to come in and download everything. I don't recommend you do that because there are things here at different levels. So nothing's going to apply to everybody. The main thing, the first thing I want you to do is you can sort here and search. I want you to grab these two things because these are going to set up the foundation, the reading intervention grouping tool and the small group lesson plan template, which I'm going to share a little bit more about these with you. And then from there, you are going to go into the different areas, like, for example, phonics and phonemic awareness, and see what are things that my students need right now or that they're going to need. Or let's say, like every year, this is an area that I need more resources, then you can come in and you can download. So you've got CVC stuff, phonemic awareness stuff, there's alphabet, there's short and long vowels. So you have things for lower and upper elementary in here. A variety of resources. Some of these are like teacher scripted things for you to do with your students. Some of these are independent work for your students to do in other groups. So these will work either in one-to-one settings or in small groups. Then we have reading comprehension here. So there's 3 resources here: problem and solution, main idea and context clues, and then an introduction to morphology. So these are the resources for this area. And then we have reading fluency, a couple of different things here: nonsense word fluency bingo, fluency step-by-step, this initial and final blends. This decodable text bundle here, it has a ton of different focus skills. There's a reader's theater with a ton of different skills, and then silly stories for fluency, 30 passages. This probably is what most of the content in the bundle is right here. There's a ton of these things for reading fluency. And then our last category is handwriting or writing in general. So we have sentence writing, informational writing, 5-paragraph essay. We have handwriting progress measures. So from kindergarten to 5th grade, how to measure where your students are when it comes to handwriting. And then we have dialogue and quotation mark practice activity and a descriptive writing brainstorming flip book, which is probably really good for special ed. So that is everything that's here for you to download. Then you also have this individual literacy planning wizard, which you will maintain access to. So this you don't have to come in and access by the 28th. This is a custom GPT that I personally trained over many, many months with all of my materials and my planning methods and my small group template and how to assess students. And basically, this will work for one student at a time. You answer questions. It's 25 assessment questions, and then it will tell you what the student needs to work on, and it will give you like a customized, individualized plan based on all the information that I have given it. And so this is a really great tool to use if you do work one-to-one, or if you have a particular student that you're really struggling with and you're not sure where to start or what to do next, then this is a great tool for you to use. This is with ChatGPT. It works best if you have a paid account because it's so many messages. You will get cut off if you're on a free account, and then you'll have to come back like in, I don't know if it's 3 hours or the next day and continue. And so it may take a couple of days to get through it if you have the free plan. But if you have a paid plan, this will work fine. I know that in the US, if you work for a public school, you can get a free ChatGPT account. I linked that here so you can sign up for that. If you're not in that situation, I'm sorry. I don't have another way for you to use this for free if you don't have a paid ChatGPT. But this is a bonus I added, so it's just an extra thing. And this is actually already in the spreadsheet that I'm going to show you. So it's kind of like double dipping. This is just a little bit easier because ChatGPT does the work for you. But I'm going to stop sharing this screen now. And I'm going to share those two resources that I want to share with you. And then any other resources that you want me to preview, you want me to pull something up, you want to see exactly what's inside, let me know and I will pull them up and show them to you. So let me show you first I'll do the lesson plan templates, and then I'll do the grouping tool because that one's got a lot more to talk about. Okay, so let me come back to, I don't know how to share a window. Let's see. Oh, perfect. Okay. So this is the small group lesson plan templates. And this lesson activity cheat sheet for me is gold because this is where you can be like, okay, I need to work on students that are in the, let's say, later alphabetic phase. What are some activities I can do with them for phonemic awareness? Here are your options. For phoneme graphing correspondence, here are your options. For decoding and encoding, here are your options. So you have a menu to choose from that's specific to the level your student is at. And all you have to do is say, okay, if I'm working on CVC words, then I'm just putting that in for this specific activity. So it makes things a lot easier. This is a template for 5 days. So it's basically giving you like the breakdown of each area you want to hit. And so I've got a 5-day, 4-day, 3-day, and 2-day version for phonics. There's a comprehension version as well. So this will cover morphology before reading, during reading, and after reading. And again, it's 5, 4, 3, 2 days. Then I have a UFLI version if that's what you use. 2-day version. That's how they have their thing structured. And there's areas for like assessments and notes on all of these. And then I include templates for word mapping, several different versions. So it depends on the level your students are at. Word chains, which I feel like you have to do in all of your phonics lessons, and then a dictation sheet as well. So a couple versions of that. So that is the small group lesson planning template. And then next, I want to show you the reading grouping tool. Let's see, window, this one. Okay, so this is a spreadsheet. So there's an Excel and a Google Slides version, so you can use either one. This is what the custom GPT does, so it's the same thing. However, the custom GPT will not keep records for you. So this is actually like you would enter the students' names here, and then you would answer these 25 questions going across. And as you go answering them, like if you put a yes or a no, you can see it'll like change colors. And depending on what you put is, well, let me just put a few so you can see. Like I'm just going to fill out a couple of these. So here it's going to tell you this student needs to work on phonics, and the suggested phase of Aries phases, if you're familiar with that, is partial alphabetic. And so it'll do this for every student, and then it will put together your groups of like how many students are in each phase and how many students should be in each group. And then you have like these little charts here. And then at the bottom, you have tabs. And so here it will put your students in these groups. So you will see the list of all the kids that fell in here, all the kids that fell in here, all the kids that fell in here, right? So this one kid, I didn't put a name, so it says 0. But if I would have put a name, it would be there. And then it'll tell you what should you do. So with this group, these are the things you should work on. These are the things you should work on. like that, right? So it does that for all the areas. It groups by skill or Aries and Aries phase. So depending on which method you want to group your students, you have both options, and either way is going to tell you what you can work on with that group of students. There's a phonics scope and sequence in here for you to track kindergarten through pretty much fourth grade. But there's not a lot in fourth grade. It's really just syllable types and stuff like that. So this is mainly phonics. Then you have a student phonics checklist. So you can put the name of the student, and all across the board, you're going to check off all the things that they know. And this goes over everything: sounds, vowel sounds, digraphs, syllables, welded sounds, vowel teams, got all of them. English words don't end in U, soft C, sounds of S, other spellings of CH, multisyllabic words. Like, this is a lot. So this is over several grade levels that this spans, and you can track exactly what your student knows. Then you have this instructional strategies cheat sheet. So this is just like things you can do depending on where your students are. This is a small group lesson planner. So this is similar to the printable that I showed you before, but this is inside the spreadsheet. There's also recommended assessments with the links directly to them and what they assess. And then all the standards are in here, preloaded K through 5 for ELA. So when you do plan, you can select, here you can actually select your group that you're working on, and you can select the standard right here. It doesn't show up on your screen, but it's there when you click the little arrow. All the stuff shows up there. So you can add that to your plan. So that is the spreadsheet included in that. So I recommend you start with those two things, because that's going to set up your foundation. It's going to help you group your students and tell you exactly where to start, what it is that they need to work on, and where to go next from there. And then the other resources that are in the bundle, you can download and use to actually teach the skills that you are working on with your students. So let me look over my outline of things I wanted to cover to make sure I'm covering everything. So again, this is great for K through 5 if you're working with students who are learning to read or struggling with reading. Interventionists, tutors, teachers, special ed, it doesn't really matter. If you sit with kids in a small group setting, intervention setting, then this will be helpful for you. Now, if you want something like scripted that tells you every single thing, every step of the way, what to do, you say this, then you do this, that's not what this is, right? This is a framework and a toolbox of options for you to use, for you to have for the year. So it's not like a scripted program. If you're just looking for like professional development theory, then that's not what this is either. So you get 22, actually it's 23 resources, including the custom GPT for $27. And you have until Sunday, the 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern time to buy it, and then it goes away forever. I do this every year in January. So this is the current 2026 version. Next year in 2027, I will have a different version with different resources. So again, once you log in, you have 40 days to download. You have until February 28th to download the individual resources, but you will maintain access to the dashboard after that. So again, you want to think of it like a toolbox and not a checklist. It's not come in and download everything and do everything. It's really just get what you need. Now, if there's anything you want me to preview, let me know. I don't see anything in the chat, so I'm not, I will maybe pull like two or three really cool resources that I want to show you, and then that's it. Any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. If you're watching the replay, you can drop a question in the chat. I will come back and I will answer it. I will check like once a day, and so I will answer your question. So even if you're not here live, that's totally okay. A question that I did get is if this is aligned with Science of Reading and Structured Literacy, and yes, it is. I personally vetted every resource in here and actually did not accept everything that was submitted. So I made sure and went through that it is. The stuff for like reading comprehension, it doesn't, like Science of Reading has such a heavy phonics focus, and reading comprehension is a little bit different. Like, it's very important as well, but it's not really the main thing. Is you want to make sure that you're teaching explicitly and you are teaching with methods and strategies that work. And so that is definitely the case with everything in here. Okay, so let's see. What can I pull up to show you? I don't need this anymore. I like this one from Markers and Minions. This is a nice product. Let me see if I can come in here. Here we go. Okay, let me share my screen again. Window here. All right, so here is the long and short vowel resource from Toluca Rivers with Markers and Minions. And this is really nice and thorough. So this is 30 pages. I'm just going to show you a couple of pages, but you can see for long A, you are talking about the pattern, giving some examples, practicing it, and then there's like a little game here on the left. Then we have a word explanation, mapping, mystery words activity, and then we come to long E, long I. So it's a bunch of different explicit, your answer key here, things to do when it comes to the individual sounds. So it's really great practice for kids who need a little more intervention with that specific skill. Another one that I want to show you is the fluency step by step. This one is from Rindy Roberts. I think it's Learning with Heart. And so let me come to the top. Yeah, Learning with Heart. And so this one has this kind of like letter sound fluency, word fluency, nonsense word fluency, sentence fluency. So this is really great for fluency, and a bunch of extra tips as well. And I'll show one more. Okay, here's a good one. From Phonics to Fluency. And this one is some decodables. So you've got a couple of different stories. And so she created these like cards for some of the words in the story to practice. And here's like the story, and then you answer the questions. There's some like tracing on there. You can segment and blend the words. And then there's some questions about the story, and then you've got the word card. So I think this is a really great resource to really reinforce blending, decoding, that kind of thing. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to share for now. I don't see any questions, so I think we're good for now. Again, if you're watching the replay, feel free to drop a question in the chat, the comments of the video, and I will come back and I will answer all of the comments at my earliest convenience. So quick recap, $27 for this bundle through Sunday, January 18th, midnight Eastern time zone. Pay attention to that because I do get people sometimes that are like, oh, I thought it was midnight, but they're Pacific time. And it's like, yeah, you're in the other time zone. That's why. And again, it's you don't need everything. It's a toolbox for you to use that will help you simplify your reading interventions. So I will pin the link to the bundle here in the chat and in the comments, so you can check it out if you need the link. But other than that, thank you so much for joining me, whether you're here live or watching the replay, and I will see you soon.